Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tap In with Tristan. Got another Fit Lab 15 segment. Got a wonderful young lady, got a great guest. I'm excited to have her take some of her time out. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Mackenzie Denson. Say hey.
Hey, I'm Mackenzie. I go to the University of Minnesota and I'm a freshman on the softball team here.
Yes, yes, indeed. So I've been fortunate enough to develop a relationship. She's a Fit Lab athlete for a little bit of time. So talk to us. Bring us back to young Mackenzie. What did that look like? What sports was we involved in, if any?
I started out playing softball just because my older sister had played softball, but for the longest time I wanted to do gymnastics just because like I saw the girls and I saw that they looked like me and like they were short and so I was like I want to do gymnastics. And then I got into gymnastics and I realized I wasn't flexible, so then I flipped back to softball and I've been with softball ever since.
Ever since. So it's important to kind of understand what type of athlete you are. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So now you got your older sisters playing. How was this dynamic? Was it somebody that you looked up to? Did you admire her? Was you envious of her? How did that play a role in developing you?
Yeah, I feel like I was really lucky to have my sister playing just because growing up I was always on the same team as her. So like if she was on Texas Glory, I was on Texas Glory and I always had my uniform on when she was playing and I'd get to like run bases when she was playing. So it was just like I got to experience playing with older girls and just seeing that level. So I feel like it helped me in the long run.
That's very very unique. You don't have that situation quite often. How was the parents in this? Were they proud parents? Were they hard on you? Were they super supportive? Tell us how that was growing up.
Yeah, I think my parents were very supportive of anything that I really chose to do. So, like, if I wanted to do gymnastics, they were fine with that as long as that's what I stuck with. And at the end of the day, whatever got me a scholarship and got me into school was what I was going to end up doing. So, I think that they definitely got me to where I am today.
Yeah, so the support system is definitely a big part, and we're hearing this theme a lot with the softball players that we've been able to sit down with. Tell us about the dynamic that goes on with the support and the team element. How does that? Is it almost like a family? Would you say?
Yeah, I feel like even girls that I played with, like that ended up not going on to play college. Like I have girls that I can remember that I played with when I was in T-ball and then they ended up quitting and continue and they're still my friends to this day and like if I ever need anything, like I can go to them or if they need anything, they can come to me. So I feel like it's just like a lifelong friendship with these people.
That's pretty cool. That's very cool, and I even hear the same for the parents. They hang out and everything because y'all spend so much time together. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I have for my coach, my old coach for select, his name's Cedric. He coached me when I was like just coming into softball, and he ended up being my last coach. So my parents are best friends with him since they've known him for so long, and I feel like he's like my second dad. So
That's beautiful. So, what would you say some of the strengths to your game are, and what positions do you play? What would you say for people who don't know Mackenzie?
I would say I play outfield, so I'm very quick and I'm a slapper, so I just touch the ball and go, or sometimes I might power slap it past you. So you never really know what's coming, and I feel like that definitely helps my game just because I can either bunt it and make you run, or I can hit it past you, which makes you run back. So I just feel like that just adds to my game on what I can do.
So, essentially, it makes you an offensive weapon. For those who don't know about softball, slappers are very important in generating runs. We get on, then you cause havoc on the base path. That fair to say?
Yeah, slappers are like the ones that you know if they touch it, it's gonna be a close play. It's never gonna be a big, huge difference in safe or out.
That's big time. So tell me, when did you know that this was something that you wanted to do long term? Was it early in your career, or was it a little bit later? To like, man, it crossed over from being recreational to man, I really like to try to do this at the next level and do the most that I can do with it.
Yeah, I think that I probably realized it was real was whenever I was probably 13 years old and we were playing in Kansas City. And I just remember playing in this tournament, and there were so many coaches there. And UMKC ended up just coming up to my dad because my dad was my coach at the time, and just saying, "Hey, like we want her to come on a visit." And I was like, "Whoa, like I'm." They want me to come on a visit to their school. What the heck? And I just thought that was the craziest thing. And I think that's when I realized, like, dang, I might actually be able to play this for a long time.
That's dope. And what grade were you in right there?
Ooh, probably seventh grade, eighth grade.
Seventh, eighth grade. So
Yeah.
you're still in middle school now.
Yep.
And that's crazy. So that kind of hits you like, man, this is something that I might actually be good enough to go
Yep.
at the next level. So when you recognize that, what was the mind frame? Did it change at all? Did it go from being, just kind of just fun to more of like a bit serious, or you just kind of found that balance?
Yeah, I think once I realized that it could happen, I was like, okay, I got to do everything that I can. So then I'm like, all right, I got to get in with Tristan. And then I was like, okay, I need to get in with slapping coach. I need to do all this stuff just so I can be the best me I can be and get basically do the best that I can when I come in.
So you recognize at an early age, and I'm sure you have conversations with your parents that we need to do some extra in order to give us the best shot. Is that fair to say? And what were some of the extra things that you did do?
Yeah, like we would just talk, and whenever I like realized that I really wanted to play, we are like, okay, I need to start working out more. I need to make sure that I'm hitting every day and just making sure that I'm like feeling what I'm supposed to and not like just going through the motions and just kind of half doing it just because I have to do it.
That's valid. And that's what separates the different levels. There's levels in everything. You can play recreation, just play to have fun, but if you're trying to level up, then there's going to be some things you have to do on the outside. Did you feel like those things were beneficial to you, your development? The strength training, that fit lab, and the extra hitting and everything like that. Do you feel like it's vital for an up and coming athlete to try to play at the next level, or they can just do it without it?
Yeah, no, I think that you definitely have to like make sure that you have I think personally that you have to make sure that you've lifted weights before because when you get into college like you're lifting weights, you're running, you're doing all this stuff, and if you're not used to it, it's going to be a lot to throw at you at once. So I think if you start doing it a little bit at a time, then by the time you get here, it's not as much and not as much of a shock to you.
That's all valid. Now, how was you on the end of balancing school, being a student with the sports? So being that student athlete is sometimes it's tough for some of the kids to grasp. How did you deal with that?
I think that I personally don't feel like I missed out on anything because I'm here and I'm doing what I want to do. So I could still be in Texas sitting at home, but I'm here in Minnesota and I'm where I want to be, doing what I want to do and going to school while doing it. So it's just like I think it just like proves that like I can do it if I try, and it just makes me want to do it even more.
So yeah, absolutely. You kind of put your mind to it, man. You use your resources. Your parents backed you up, man, and you went full throttle at it. Now, what about the workload, the amount of time that's put into it, the tournaments, the long seasons? Is this something to be expected for a young athlete getting into softball? And did you see or did you feel any burnout that comes with it?
To be honest, I never really felt burnt out. My parents were very good at just making sure that I had like an equal amount of softball and equal amount of social. So I feel like whenever I finished our big tournament at the end of the year, which was always PGF, which was probably in August, my parents gave me until if I wanted until December or if I just whenever I felt ready to come back into softball. So I'd take like 2 months off and I just got to relax, and I still worked out, but I just didn't focus on so much softball, and it was more of seeing my friends and doing things that I wouldn't get to do because I'm playing softball.
So there's a certain level of sacrifice in certain departments, but there's also a certain level of balance. Is that valid?
Yeah, for sure. I think that you do have to sacrifice. Like, you're not going to get to go to everybody's birthday parties. Everybody's going to go to birthday dinners, like in high school, for example, and you're going to be driving to a tournament in Houston or wherever your tournament is. But, like, once you get there and you start doing what you know you can do, it's like, I don't even care that I missed it. So,
That's fact. So yeah, I mean, if there's a vision there, there's going to be some sacrifice that need to be made. Now, you're a well-decorated player, you know, All-American status type of a player, and playing at the high level of what's the word I'm talking about? Club select. What does that look like? You know, playing at the top level, playing against and with the top players in the country. What should a young athlete expect? And then I have a follow-up question. What should they expect when they get into that world?
I think what you should expect is like very high intensity. And if you're not used to it, it's gonna seem like a lot and it's gonna seem stressful. But if you practice it and like get your mental game right, it's gonna be one of the moments that you're like, oh, this is fun. Like, this is the time when I get to like either do it or I don't. And I just think having a good mindset and a good mentality for it all will just help you in the long run.
Excellent way to answer that. What are coaches looking for? What are these coaches looking for in the slapper and the power hitter and the pitcher with the levels? Now we're talking about the highest level because that's what you competed in and that's what you experienced. What are they looking for?
I think they're just looking for somebody that's gonna speak and like let the if you're in the outfield, they can hear you from like you're yelling so loud that they can hear you all the way from the bleachers and you're just cheering your pitcher on. Even if she throws a ball, you're still like, "Hey, that was a good pitch." Like you'll get the next one like just yelling anything. And they don't want to see people just standing around. Like do something, like walk side to side or just do something in the long I just think it'll help you because if you're doing something, you're not doing nothing. So,
That's valid. That's valid. So they're looking for people that are engaged. They want engagement. They want verbal engagement and physical engagement. That's definitely a fact. So we have that. What about this crossover from the recruitment period? What does that look like for a high level athlete, especially in the world of softball? Was that stressful for you as far as picking the school?
yeah, so whenever I had first committed to Minnesota, I want to say I was a freshman. I feel like I was a sophomore. One of those, I was a freshman or a sophomore. And right after I committed, probably around like 3 or 4 months after, they came out with the rule that you couldn't talk to coaches until your junior year. So I wasn't able to talk to my coach for months. So I didn't know if she still wanted me. I didn't know anything. So it was just kind of like, dang, like I got to get better because I don't want them to drop me. And so whenever the day came, it was just like bittersweet because it was like, oh, they still want me, and I like put all this work in, so it was bittersweet to know that they still wanted me here.
So what's the life of I mean, you're clear across the country now, and you're dealing with a whole nother element in weather
Hmm.
that's unlike Texas. What has it been, and how has it been crossing over, and also being one of the few Power Five softball players? I mean, this is big time softball. Minnesota is a perennial powerhouse. What has this been like?
It's actually been like kind of fun. I don't know. I'm one of those people like once I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, okay, it's time to get the day started. So waking up at like 5:30 for weights in the fall, I was like, all right, let's go. And then just going until like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And then like you realize, okay, well it's 12 o'clock, but I still have to go to class. And then you're like, all right, this day is getting a little longer. And I just think that it's just in the end, it's very fun because every day you know you're doing almost the same thing and you're seeing the same people. And it's just like you create a little family out of seeing each other.
What's the biggest difference so far in high school athlete, student athlete to college student athlete?
Um, Honestly, I just think working on your own. Because in high school, it's kind of like, oh, your coaches are like, if you want to come in and practice, that's fine. But in college, it's like, if you want to come in and hit,
Yeah,
that's fine. And it's like, you better get up here if you're not doing
you might
what you're
want to get it.
supposed to.
You might want to get it. So super valid. So a lot of it is your time management. So
Hmm.
these time management skills need to be worked on in high school. You don't have the same eyes looking at you and knocking on your door to get you there. Like you're going to be responsible for yourself. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I'd say learning how to wake yourself up with an alarm clock is definitely something that some people have to get used to. I'm pretty good at it. I turn the volume all the way up and I set them for every minute just in case because I get nervous. But I think that's definitely like one of the hardest parts that you hear from everybody is waking themselves up. So,
Time management. Now you're an adult. What's some? We're gonna get ready to wrap this up. We can talk for hours. You know, we build together. So, what's some words of advice in a nutshell for somebody that's looking to kind of follow in your footsteps, but blaze their own path in the game of softball?
I'd honestly just say get your mental game right because softball's more than just being really good. Because if you're a crappy teammate, that's like not going to help you in the long run. And if you don't have the confidence in yourself when you go up to bat in a stressful situation, it's not going to help your case at all and your team's case. So I think just like getting the mental side of your game is going to help you like a lot.
Absolutely. And a lot of your confidence is going to come from your preparation. She's put a lot of time in off the field. So when she goes in, she's ready to go and use her skills that she has God given, but also what she's worked on. And again, I want to celebrate you. I'm super proud. I'm thankful to be a part of your fitness journey, and I look forward to when they actually start. I want to see you in the uniform, and I'm really proud. I'm thankful to be a part of your career, and I'm happy that you're a part of the Fit Lab family. So,
Thank you.
no, thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule. We'll be in contact offline, but again, until next time, God bless. Bye.